There's nothing like it. The sound of the mighty modified.
The NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour set to go.
The green is out.
He spins the tires and we're racing.
Very fast, very intense laps.
A little bit of a stutter step there. They come together.
There's a number of 10 to 13 different drivers that can easily win this race.
Trouble turn 4.
Drifts up just a bit.
Into the outside wall, but he takes the checkered flag.
The Whelen Modified Tour is set to do battle.
It's time to break the ice at Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park, and all the stars are here, including point leader Tyler Ripkema, who will be in search of his first Thompson win today. Defending champion is coming off a fifth-place run in Martinsville 2 weeks ago and will also be racing for his first Thompson checkered flag. Patrick Emmerling is a two-time Thompson winner and has 10 straight top 10 finishes at this historic oval. Steven Kopsik is fairly new to the tour, but picked up his first checkered flag 2 weeks ago in Martinsville. Justin Bonsignor is looking to tie Mike Stefanik today as the all-time winningest driver at Thompson. And six-time Modified Tour champion Doug Coby returns to Thompson today for the first time in 2 years. The fans are bundled up and ready for the 50-second Icebreaker coming up next. There is anything but quiet in the quiet corner of Connecticut today as the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour is set for race 3 of the 2026 season, the Icebreaker 150 at the Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park.
There's no question about it. It's a picture-perfect day here. 1 year ago, it took us 3 attempts to get this event in. That's not going to be the story today. Man and machinery are set to do battle. The fans are ready, and we're ready. And there's so many side stories, Kyle, of what's going to happen here. A point leader who's never been at the top of the charts before, a 6-time champion who returns, and much, much more.
Kyle Rickey joined by Ben Dodge at this historic 5/8 mile oval, the Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park, where this race was the very first in Tour history many years ago in 1985. It opened in 1940. 0.625 mile oval, asphalt all the way around, and pretty steep banking, 11 to 15 degrees in the corners.
It certainly is. They once referred to this racetrack as the Super Speedway of the North. There's no question about it. There's so much history. They say in the clubhouse here, Kyle, NASCAR was founded. There's so much history. And Don Honig, a gentleman who's 92 years age young, he is the founding father of this great facility, and generation of generation have handed it down, and it's in great hands. Today's distance will be 150 laps. Tire allotment is going to be key. 3 tires available in the race. 2 tire changes per caution. Recent winners, Kyle, we've got some heavy guns.
Including Ron Silk, who won this race a year ago, and the most recent race at the World Series, Patrick Emmerling won this event last summer here at Thompson. One driver looking for his first Thompson win, the current championship leader. Let's welcome into the broadcast for the first time here on Flow Racing, Bonza Tufa down on the pit lane.
Thank you, Kyle. Tyler Ripka comes into this race looking for his 3rd straight podium. He hasn't done that yet in his Whelen Modified Tour career. But today, the team had struggled during practice. A car that was very loose. They got a better second round, but they have a lot of work to do starting 18th. But it's not their first rodeo. They've gained 26 spots since they started the race in the first race of the season at New Smyrna. They're looking to have more of the same here, make their way through the pack, and maybe Ripkema can rip through the field and get another podium and his first Thompson win.
Well, there's no question about it. So much history here. The Bowler family have had race cars running at this racetrack, and they know it through generation of generation. Lenny Bowler built some of the pioneer cars by legendary drivers, of course, and that of among them being Fred DeCero. But then over the years, lots of things changed and a lot of new names. But today, the story is going to be all eyes on Tyler Ripkema, and so deserving of that story as well. You can see the drivers about to get in and strapped in and ready for the competition. You know, we look back at what we saw earlier today. There is the famed Old Blue. not old anymore, Kyle. That's the car to beat, a lot of the experts feel. You know, it's kind of the story of the tortoise and the hare. One was very fast, the other showed consistency. Consistency might be the story, but fast is the best solution.
Tyler Ripkema will start 18th here this afternoon. Pole qualifying just held a little bit ago. Matt Hirschman won the pole at 19.125 mile per hour lap, and Bonza Tufo was able to catch up with Matt Hirschman as he just set that time about an hour ago and will lead the field to the green flag.
Matt Hirschman scores his 20th career NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour pole, getting it done here at Thompson in search of his first victory at the Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park. Matt, how about that qualifying run, and what do you have for us tonight?
Well, I mean, we need to have a good run in the race because we haven't had one yet this year. So, but at least we're two-thirds of the way there. We practiced well. Now we qualified well, which hasn't happened yet this year, and now we need to have a good run in the race. So, you know, team's done a good job so far. I got to thank Bar Harbor Bank and Trust. I want to get this car up front where it should be, and we haven't been there yet this year. So hopefully today's the day. And yeah, I think it's the first pole I've ever had here. I know I've been second already before, but man, I'm going to date myself by saying that's probably back in the mid-2000s, really, when I remember qualifying second here before, I think. So it's good to get a pole. It's always a good bonus. After the way we've run this year, I think it's a morale boost here, at least going in the feature, and hopefully we can have a good result today.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
You know, Kyle, there's no question you can feel the ground starting to tremble. That's because they fired the engines. This is 150 laps from Thompson Motorsports Park in Thompson, Connecticut. Icebreaker, a traditional event, the first event of the season usually in the past.
Back at the Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park, getting set for race 3 of the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour season. And right now, we need the fans in the grandstands to help us give the command to fire the 29 teams that are set to compete here this afternoon.
We certainly do. And, of course, the most famous words in motorsports. All of you race fans, we've had a tough winter, so let's get some heat in the action as we are about to begin. We'll count it from 3, down to 2, to 1. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it our best. 3, 2, 1. Gentlemen, start your engines.
Field comes to life down on the pit lane. Great crowd here this afternoon at the Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park for the 3rd race of the season. So many storylines coming into this event. You mentioned the new championship point leader coming out of the Martinsville Speedway a couple of weeks ago, Tyler Ripkema. Doug Kobe's return to this racetrack. Ron Silk has been so dominant here in recent seasons, including victor of the last 2 Icebreaker events. He also won here at the World Series the last time the Tour was here back in October. So many other storylines as the field begins to roll now for the several of parade and pace laps.
You know, let's take a quick look back. First race of the season, Justin Bonsignor was the big winner. Tyler Ripken would finish in second, and on the podium in third was Austin Beers. Round number 2 went to Martinsville Speedway. Stephen Kopsick took home the grandfather clock in his first victory, and it was Ronnie Silk who was second, and Tyler Ripken finished in third. That third gave him command of the point standings and some of the best averages that we've seen in just 2 events. This is the third stop, as we said before, the 158 Modified Tour event at this track. 38 drivers have found their way to victory lane. Among those legends are drivers like Mike Stefanik, Teddy Christopher, Jeff Fuller, Rick Fuller, Tony Hirschman, and of course Justin Bonsignor, Ronnie Silk, Doug Colby, and Patrick Emerling. Those stories and more will be put to the test for today's event as they continue to work their magic. Crew members, the old days, Kyle, they called them war wagons. Well, they're not war wagons anymore. They're, well, the heartbeat of what goes on pit road. We saw it happen yesterday. You can win more positions on pit road if you make a good pit stop. And pit strategy is going to be key. Crew members and crew chiefs, they planned their strategy. Tire management and wear. American Racer is the official tire for 2026. It's a quality product. The competitors like it, but they've got to figure out the weight transfer and the balance of the cars. That's the key thing, Kyle.
It is indeed. They are learning every time they hit the racetrack here with that new tire manufacturer in 2026. Let's talk about Justin Bonsignor for a second. 49 prior starts here at the Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park. 14 wins. His most recent victory in the 2024 World Series. That means he is only 1 away from tying the winningest Modified Tour driver here at Thompson. On your screen right now, Mike Stefanik with 15 wins, and it took Mike 106 starts to get to that point.
It certainly did, and you have to remember, this was Mike Stefanik's home track. He loved this racetrack. He loved competing here. He didn't live very far over the line in Rhode Island. That's the unique thing about Thompson Speedway. 1/4 of this racetrack is next to Massachusetts. The other corner is Rhode Island, and we're stuck in the quiet corner right in the middle. Quiet? Well, that's not going to be the story here today. As the field final cars head off pit road, Bonsignor has been down there pounding the pavement for the pre-race information just before we're about ready to get into the starting lineup. You're looking at Doug Colby with the new car number 28 machine. Colby told me a story earlier today. Car had no laps. We had no idea. We did no testing. He went out, moved to the top of the charts in the first practice session. I think he's going to be a big factor.
6-time Modified Tour champion for Doug Colby. As we get a look at the all-time Modified Tour winners here, 74 for Mike Stefanik. Justin Bonsignor moved up to the 2nd spot a year ago and has 48. Then you get guys back to the Reggie Ruggiero 44, Ted Christopher 42, Tony Hirschman with 35, tied with the guy we were just talking about.
That is absolutely correct. And look at that, Mike Stefanik with 74, Justin Bonsignor with 48. The all-time win list is something impressive. This is the oldest division in NASCAR and among the quickest. It's ground pounding, it's exciting, and it's enthusiastic. You won't find anything like it anywhere in the country. The men and the women of the Whelen Modified Tour work so strong to provide some of the best and closest competition. There were some surprises in qualifying today. We'll talk more about them when we get up to speed. But right now, let's take a look at our field as it rumbles into turn 1.
Qualifying held just about an hour ago here at the Speedway. Let's take a look at the starting lineup that was held just a little bit ago. Matt Hirschman picking up the pole in that Bar Harbor Bank and Trust sponsored car from Northampton, Pennsylvania. He'll lead the field to the green flag with John McKennedy to his outside.
Let's take a look at row number 2. Stephen Kopsick, the most recent winner from Martinsville, the Wanted construction car. Then Michael Christopher Jr. set atop the charts here in qualifying for quite some time. He'll be driving the Elite Towing Company car. He'll be starting in the 4th spot.
A couple laps from green, Austin Beers will go from the 5th spot, G&G Electric Supply car. Then Andrew Moeller in the Danny Cesspool Service entry. Car number 82 will start 6th.
Then it's Ronnie Silk in the 7th spot. Ronnie Williams will be in the 8th position. position. Matt Swanson starts 9th. Eric Goodale rounds out the top 10.
Ben's going to be Tommy Catalano and Justin Bonsignor, row number 6. Doug Kobe way back in 13th, followed by Patrick Emmerling, also a race winner here in 14th. Then Kyle Bonsignor and Craig Lutz in row number 8.
And then, of course, in the 9th row, it's Chase Dowling. Tyler Ripkema will be alongside there. Joey Cipriano starts 10 rows back, and it'll be Teddy Hodgson, the 4th, right there alongside. And a youngster, 15 years of age, Polly Hardwick, will start back in 21st. Eric Byrne in 22nd.
Field comes off the corner. It looks like they'll get 1 to go. Dave Sapienza and Max Sackham go 23rd and 24th. John Michael Chanette, Ken Hagee, Trevor Catalano, Andrew Kraus, and Corey Plummer, the 29 cars that took time in qualifying just a little bit ago. Field has got the 1 to go signal. We are about a half a lap away from the Icebreaker 150 here at the Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park. An overcast, cool afternoon. Sun has been out much of the day for qualifying and practice. We'll see how the track changes with these new American Racer tires.
Nobody knows the answer as yet so far. Tom Mayberry, the man that pretty much dominates racing action in the great state of Maine. Along with him, of course, it is Chris Michaud. He's the magical man there. Here they come off turn number 4. Ladies and gentlemen, give them a wave and give them a send-off. The green is out. The Icebreaker is now breaking the ice in turn 1.
Field goes to turn 1 for the first time onto the banking in the front row. McKennedy slides up just a bit off of turn number 2. Hirschman having to get in the line in 2nd, just in front of Michael Christopher in 3rd. They stack up from 4th on back as they come around to complete lap number 1.
There's no question about it. Austin Beers got a little bit loose. He's the only car on the bottom. 4 cars single file, then they're starting to double up. Beers is on the inside. To the outside, here comes the kid they consider a rookie on the modified tour. That, of course, is Danny Watts. Back off turn number 4, it's John McKennedy, the leader of the pack.
Andrew Moeller in that number 82. Orange entry to the outside, battling just outside of the front 5 for 6th. Front 5 have singled out with McKennedy leading the way by a couple of lengths over Matt Hirschman in the 60 as you watch some good battling just into the top 5, including Ron Silk in the 16. There's Eric Goodale and also Matt Swanson in the 89. Goodale in the 58 topside.
You know, you got to keep your eyes on the mid-pack of cars. Car number 1. That, of course, is Patrick Emmerling. That is in the Dale Head Quest machine. You're not seeing it on the screen as yet. There's a simple reason for that, because he is back in the 12th position. They tried a different setup. They weren't happy with it earlier. Meanwhile, right there with him is Lutz, and there is Catalano in the 54 car. All of a sudden, to the outside, Catalano gets loose. He comes up across the racetrack in front of Tyler Ripkema. There's Chase Dowling with a black 44.
All of that battling behind a change for 2nd a moment ago. Michael Christopher Jr. taking the runner-up spot away, and it's now just a couple of car lengths behind McKennedy for the lead as we watch Ripkema in old blue, number 3, trying to fend off Chase Dowling, who goes to the inside in the 44. 2 cars that have found so much success here at Thompson over the years. Right now, battling mid-pack into the latter half of the top 15.
There's no question about it. It seems the upper groove on the racetrack is the quickest way around. But somebody forgot to give that message to Chase Dowling. He's one of the first cars to dip to the bottom. Alongside of him, that is Doug Kobe, that blue and white machine. Dowling continues to run the inside. He's stuck on the bottom of the racetrack. Can he get up a lane? Now he does. Kobe pulls back in the line. There is Bonsignor. That is Kyle Bonsignor with car number right there behind him as well in the pink and black machine.
Just in front of this battle, Justin Bonsignor getting itchy to the inside of Eric Goodale for about the 10th position as they go back to turn number 2. There's Tyler Ripkema ahead of Dowling, Kobe, and behind the 54 Tommy Catalano cars. They go back to turn number 3. Already 9 laps complete.
There's no question about it. That's where the action currently is in the racetrack. Just seeing a nice move by the number 1 car to the right of your screen. Patrick Emmerling dives to the inside, tries to make the move to make his presence known with that number 1 machine. He is now there. That forces Goodale up the hill in the Riverhead Building Supply machine. Lutz is still there. Then it's the Catalano number 54.
Craig Lutz has won here at Thompson in the past in a race with Patrick Emmerling in that blue and white numeral number 1. Lutz in the 46. Then it's Catalano and Goodale side by side just behind them. That is a race for the 14th position on the racetrack. Goodale to the outside lane, Lutz to the bottom, and Ripkema has the best seat in the house right now in old blue.
He certainly does. Now he's going to change his line, tries to move to the inside. Back of the car gives away just a bit. He then gathers it back. Now, who is the rabbit and who is the chase car? Well, it is Chase with car number 44. Meanwhile, Goodale continues to fight. Emmerling is getting hooked up on the upper lane to the inside. Still a great battle going on. And Lutz continues to work his magic down low with car number 46.
A battle for 12th and 13th. A change for second ahead of them. Stephen Kopsick was able to get around Michael Christopher Jr. And Kopsick, a man on a mission right now, goes to the inside of John McKennedy up the back straightaway as Kobe goes to the inside of Goodale there off turn 2. Here's the battle for the lead off turn 4. McKennedy, Kopsick, who has come from about 10 car lengths back in the last 2 laps to challenge for the top spot.
There is no question about it. Stephen Kopsick has matured, not as just a crew chief and a master mechanic at setup, but as a driver. His confidence is up. He's more confident than ever, and he wants to prove to everyone back-to-back victories are not impossible for the driver from Newtown, Connecticut. In Newtown, Connecticut, this team and operation was made up of a whole bunch of very special people. Among them being, of course, Ronnie Silk, who happens to be one of the close friends that is associated with Stephen Kopsick. Kopsick is a man possessed. He reels in on John McKennedy. McKennedy's got a fast race car, but his line, Kyle, is a little bit different than Stephen Kopsick.
And has opened the door for Stephen Kopsick on a couple of occasions as he goes a bit higher coming off of the corners. Kopsick closes to within a car length and a half, although the margin has stabilized this time, about 0.3 of a second on the racetrack between the top 2. Then a large gap back to the third place car of Michael Christopher Jr., Matt Hirschman, Ron Silk. The top 5, they have pretty much stretched out the length of the front straightaway here at the Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park. And then a even larger gap back to Ronnie Williams, unchallenged in 6, as McKennedy brings them back to turn number 2, car number 79, as we check in on pit road to get a little bit more out of the Stephen Kopsick pit with Bonza Tufa.
Talking to Stephen Kopsick during practice, he was very happy with the car. He's got the momentum. He won the last race at Martinsville, and both rounds of practice, he was satisfied. Maybe a minor adjustment or 2, but overall was really happy with the car and really confident. Also want to mention Eric Goodale falling back into 58. Car is super tight. His team is trying to tell him it will come to him as the temperatures cool down and the run goes on.
Goodale 21st right now in car number 58, so about a half a lap behind the race leaders that have already exited turn number 2. Goodale just now at the start-finish line.
You know, there's so many different side stories in this event as well. Marissa Colvin, that is the girlfriend of Stephen Kopsick. She is an active player in that race team. If you watched at Martinsville, she changes tires, she mounts and dismounts tires, and of course, she shares the success of victory. That's something new, and the ladies have to be proud. We've got women drivers, but very few that are active turning the wrenches down on pit road.
Watching the battle for 7th on your screen, Andrew Moeller slides up the track. Here's Austin Beers to the inside, just in front of Matt Swanson. Beers, Mr. Consistency in this division, continues to run among the top 10 right now in car number 64. Moeller, meanwhile, going backwards, going the wrong way. Gave up a spot to Beers last time by. Here comes Swanson to the bottom. And now Craig Lutz goes to the inside in car number 46.
You know, Matt Swanson is working his magic. We've got a problem off turn number 2. We've got a car that went around. It is car number 56 that will bring out the first caution of the event.
That's Trevor Catalano.
Yes, the USNE Power Machine, as he went around for what appeared to be, we just caught the end of that situation, as the car set stranded there. Does not appear to have that much damage. The one thing that we do know, Kyle, that where we are at this point in the event as the clock has been ticking and working away, we haven't seen much change at the front of the field. John McKennedy was there as a huge factor as well. But remember, here at the Speedway, the lights that are provided by Whelen Engineering. Kyle, we know how important they are to modified racing.
Whelen caution lights are on. Whelen, the official warning lights of NASCAR, trusted to protect first responders.
And remember, first name and light sirens and safety services used throughout the world. Whelen Engineering, and proud of it. Single file is the field. We're going to see what's going to happen if we got any takers. And already it looks like to the front of the field we have what appears to be, and it is the Corey Plummer machine, car number 95. The Corey Plummer race car, they built their own race car. There are very few cars that are home built, among them being, of course, the Bowler number 3 car. But they have a shop up in New Hampshire, and they built this car all on their own. And, of course, they made it to be friendly to the kids themselves. I'm sure you've seen that combination on many of a Pixar cartoon.
Indeed we have. Field works the back straightaway. Green light is on. Pit road is open. We'll be interested to see if there are any takers. Keep in mind that this race, since 2022, there have been 3 races here at Thompson with just 1 caution flag. So a lot of green flag running here. May have to plan for the lack of cautions, but it looks like everybody electing to stay on the racetrack this time as they work their way through turns 3 and 4, at least through the front runners. Kyle Bonsignor further back will make a stop. We got the pit road report from Bonza a moment ago from Eric Goodale's pit. He will elect to stop here on lap number 26 as well, along with the 15 of Joey Cipriano.
Of course, then we've got what appears to be the number 19 car down on pit road as well at this particular point. So a lot of wholesale changes going on as at this point in the event. So the field is single file set. None of the heavy hitters came in. Kraus came in with the number 24 car. They've said, you know, we've got a fast race car, but it just doesn't seem to take its toll. That is the Heggie machine. We're sorry we made mention of that car, and that team, they're driving a little bit heavy-hearted today.
And the loss of Ken's girlfriend Debbie's brother, Scott Seatek. They want to honor him here this weekend. Driver of Ken and that entire team missing Scott here this weekend. Will be a quick caution flag. Corey Plummer gets the free pass. Everybody else doubles up into their rows of 2, and we'll be back under the green flag here in less than a lap following the first caution of the event.
Let's take a look at the strategy in this one also. John McKennedy in the upper lane, it appears, and of course, Stephen Kopsick on the inside. Looking at the second row, that's where we find Michael Christopher to the bottom, and of course, Matt Hirschman to the outside. Row number 3, Ronnie Silk has moved in quietly but impressively, and Ronnie Williams is doing the same. That's our top 6. All eyes are on turn number 4. The magic of a slap of the wrist, and the green is about to be sent, and we are racing. McKennedy gets a nice jump for it. Bottom of turn number 1. Second place is about to change. No question about it as they head down the back straightaway.
That's Matt Hirschman, top side. As they come back off of turn number 4, complete lap number 29 after the restart, all still chasing McKennedy. Christopher has slid back a couple of spots in the 31. Kopsick digging hard on the bottom on the 50 of Ronnie Williams. That's the race for the 3rd spot up the back straightaway as the top 2 have singled out behind the 79 of John McKennedy.
Ronnie Williams has quickly moved into the 3rd spot. These two used to battle in the SK Modified at the Stafford Speedway. So they're familiar with each other's style of driving, but it is Williams who puts Adam Scavora's car into the 3rd position. All of a sudden, marching to the front, back, he comes back to life. They come off the turn. Kopsick says, no way, not without a fight. Here comes Ronnie Silk. Behind Silk, Michael Christopher with car 31.
Seems to take Kopsick's car a couple of laps after first the initial start and now the restart to come to life, but after a few laps and some heat in the tires, finds some speed and moves into the 3rd spot. Ron Silk now up the 4th in car number 16. He too able to move around Ronnie Williams in the 50. He will get in a line just in front of Michael Christopher Jr. as they make their way off of turn number 2. There's a good look at Ronnie Williams.
Ronnie Williams is coming forward very, very quietly but aggressively in this event. Williams has worked his way into the 5th spot, but Ronnie Silk has moved in to the 4th position. That's the story now. Phil Moran, the crew chief on Silk's race car, Kyle. There's no question about it. Sly Zabin, who is the crew chief with Ronnie Uhouse in the 64, he said earlier today, if there had to be an all-star crew chief guy, it would be Phil Moran. He's went through all the generations, and he's able to get the job done. And he's done it with a bunch of legendary drivers. You're looking at Silk as he tries to hold off a pack of cars that is now running among the top positions here as well.
You mentioned Phil Moran has won the championship with both Ron Silk a few years ago and multiple times with Doug Coby, who's back in the field here this afternoon. Silk in the 4th spot, trying to hunt down those 3 cars in front of them. McKennedy's got off to a pretty good lead here, about 0.3 of a second at the front over Matt Hirschman in the 2nd spot. Stephen Kopsick in 3rd, and there's Mike Christopher Jr. there in the 31. He has faded just a bit, running in position number 6, just in front of Matt Swanson in the 89. And we pan back to the point leader, Tyler Ripkema.
Tyler Ripkema has now worked his way back in contention among the top 10 cars. Patrick Emeling is running in 10th. Now Ripkema moves in, sets the setup there. Meanwhile, right behind him, it is Lutz. Chase Dowling is still in this battle. Those are 5 cars that are in search of being among the top 10. And guess who is there with them? Well, there's no question, Justin Bonsignore. He's in 14th. That's not where he likes to be. He and Ryan Stone will tell you that this racetrack is one of their favorites, and they've always had tremendous success here, but never been able to really close things. Meanwhile, back up front, here's Matt Swanson running to the outside of Michael Christopher. Swanson continuing to add and make the pressure.
Swanson will make the pass in the outside lane. That is just out of the top 5 for 6. We talked about Mike Christopher Jr. backsliding a bit since the restart. He lost another position there in car number 31. Moved Christopher back to position number 8 as they exit turn number 2. We'll get more on the Christopher pit with Bonza.
Mike Christopher Jr. was complaining that the car is bottoming out. It's driving okay, but the car keeps hitting the ground, and that's affecting the handling of that 31 car. During practice, their struggle was getting the right front tire to heat up. The car was getting tight. They were trying to work on that all day. They got it better for the race, but the car is still hitting the ground.
Bonza, the wedge in that car is not quite there. This is what these competitors were talking about. There are different types of adjustments that they have to make as they prepare for running of these tires in the competition. It's good racing wherever you look up front, though, as now it is car number 60. Hirschman still setting in 2nd. Kopsick is still 3rd. Silk is still 4th. Ronnie Williams among the top 5.
Now, Ron Silk, not part of this battle a couple laps ago, has really been able to reel them in the last few circuits. Here comes Kopsick to the inside of Hirschman for the 2nd position, and just behind them is Ron Silk. Just ahead of them, John McKennedy, who has led since the start. But for the 3rd time by, they are side by side for the runner-up position. This time it's going to be Kopsick by a half a car length.
Kopsick's got his own unique line, but look, there's Ronnie Silk. Silk dove to the inside, right there to the bottom of the Bar Harbor Bank machine, the Spirit of America car. Ronnie Silk is coming forward as well. He puts the number 16 car into the 3rd position. That bumps Hirschman back to 4, and Matt Swanson a little bit off the pace back in the 5th spot. Michael Christopher now finds himself in the 6th position at this time. Back towards the front of the field. A lot of magic there as well. Christopher trying to hold off the number 50 car as we speak.
Mike Christopher Jr. trying to rebound just a bit here and work back into the top 5. That's Matt Swanson in the 89. Currently holder of that 5th position. Christopher in 6th was able to make the move on Ronnie Williams a lap ago to retake that position and immediately went to work on Swanson. So it looks like that car coming to life here the longer we run, approaching 1/3 distance. He'll complete lap number 48 of 150 this time by, and this is the best battle, at least among the top 5 right now.
It certainly is, Kyle. And Matt Swanson is a gentleman that's had a lot of success. He drove for Gary Casella. He has been strong and consistent in the other series featuring modified racing. This kid's got a ton of talent, and he is doing his best to hold off. This is not one of those big finance teams, but he is doing what is right today. When you can hold off Michael Christopher here at Thompson. Now look at Christopher. He tried to make a bid to the inside. Can't do it. Pulls it back in the line.
Swanson under fire right now from Michael Christopher Jr. Let's get more from the Swanson pit. And Bonza.
Matt Swanson had a huge smile on his face during practice today. In both rounds, he thought the car was great. A little tight first round, a little loose second round, but he has a lot of confidence going into this race, and he's showing it right now. Swanson is very poised to win with the family team and look for that first NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour win.
Won the 2025 edition of the Flow Racing Connecticut Challenge, a challenge that is back this year and beginning here today at Thompson. Will consist of all 3 Thompson races, along with the race in August at the Stafford Motor Speedway. He was the most consistent among the drivers that ran all 4 a year ago, earned the most points in those 4 events, and picked up the bonus money.
He certainly did, Kyle, and he will tell you that he never thought about that until it came down to the wire. Right now, we're still seeing that great battle going on between Swanson and Christopher. Look a little further back behind the 31 car is another great battle that is starting to surface. And that, of course, is the 64 car. That is Mr. Consistency himself, and we know where his situation takes us. The 64 car, as we've seen so many times, has been struggling at times early in the event, but usually late in the event, he comes to life.
Right now running among the top 10, looking for his 33rd consecutive top 10 finish for Austin Beers, as we watch John McKennedy come off of turn number 4 to complete another lap. 54 complete, and has been able to double his advantage at the front of the field in the last 3 laps. Was 0.4 of a second between himself and Steven Kopsick a couple laps ago. It is now 0.8 of a second last time by. Kopsick about to have his hands full with Ron Silk.
You know, they're friends off the racetrack, but when it comes to racing, nobody is your friend. And they continue to have their own mini war going on for that runner-up position. We are just past lap number 55 in the competition. You know, if you're wondering, where is Justin Bonsignore? Well, he started in 12th. He's currently running in the 15th spot, Kyle, but he has not been a factor as yet. And that's kind of a surprise as he comes off turn number 4, a little bit further back in the field, and he is trying to hold off Max Zacco.
And a quiet start to the afternoon for the 4-time champ of Justin Bonsignore. Max Zackham hot on his hip up the backstretch, about a half a lap behind the battle that races into turn number 1. Things tightening up just a little bit for the race lead. We mentioned 0.8 of a second 2 laps ago. Well, here comes Steven Kopsick, a half second back on race leader John McKennedy. That equates to about 3 car lengths on the racetrack as we look at Justin Bonsignore in that battle with Max Zackham in the 20. Zackham has looked to the inside lap after lap, but hasn't been able to make the pass. Of course, Max sharing that ride with crew chief Ryan Morgan this season, who is expected to make his debut in a couple weeks' time in Oxford.
Kind of an odd situation, but it seems to be working very well for them. Bonsignore is trying to turn up the wick, as the old saying goes, as he just went around Zackham, but Zackham continues to run in his tire tracks coming off turn number 4. Good racing throughout the field. Meanwhile, down at pit road, the Heggie car comes back down pit road as well. They've been in and out of the pits. There's that battle. Max Zackham right there on the back bumper of the machine that Justin Bonsignore has had. That's 15th and 16th position. Back in the 17th spot is Eric Byrne. Now, Eric Byrne in the 11 car, that's the Ferguson Mizzy's car. You have to understand, this is their first full year of attempting to run the Whelen Modified Tour in most of the events. They're definitely going to be a factor here.
There is one car out of the event. Went behind the wall a couple laps ago. Trevor Catalano is out of his car, unfortunately, early on here this afternoon, and is with Bonza.
Yeah, the team is looking over the rear end of the car as Trevor sits here in the infield. A struggle all day today. What took you out here for now?
Yeah, not really sure. We think the third link broke in it or something. I don't know. We kind of struggled all day. It was just yeah, not a good day at all. So, yeah, hopefully we'll regroup, get ready for Oxford, and hopefully be better.
Trevor Catalano looking to rebound at Oxford Plains Speedway in a couple weeks.
Well, you know, he has the talent and the ability. They just haven't had a lot of luck. The mechanical woe is the problem. The part of the suspension he's talking about is where the rear end hitches and the links. And, of course, you can't have rear steer. This is not that type of racing. You can see how dejected that young man is.
Something going on with the Ron Silk car has faded and is trying to hang on to the lead lap in that 16 car. So we'll see if we can follow up with Ron, who was shown last time by in the 26th position for Ron Silk, crossing the line just in front of John McKennedy next in line as they come to the stripe.
We got to kind of give a shout out here to Dave Zapienza, car number 36. He hasn't run much this season, but he has now broken into the top 15. Car 36 runs to the outside, now runs in the tire tracks of Max Zakup. Now remember, Dave Zapienza, this car is a tribute to a Long Island race team and his good friend Teddy Christopher. That's why it's the red number 36. Looking very racy at this point in the event as well.
Clarify Silk, he is in third right now. Just a timing glitch there for Silk. So on the racetrack in the third spot on the same straightaway as McKennedy and Kopsick. Hirschman next car back behind Silk, trying to fend off Michael Christopher Jr., whose charge to the front continues, but saw that a couple laps ago, got my attention, but he is indeed okay and closing in on Kopsick for position number 2. And race leaders closing in on much of the field. There's a host of lap traffic in front of John McKennedy. There's no Christopher question to the inside of Hirschman.
Yes, as that battle continues to work there's no question John McKennedy is far enough out in front. He can pick and choose where he needs to run. Also, we should mention back in 17th at the start of this event was Chase Dowling. Dowling has now moved into the top 8 positions in the S&S Asphalt paving car, the Tineo sponsored race car. So they moved up. They have a different crew chief for this year's program, as their crew chief now takes over and becomes the crew chief on Doug Kobe's race car. So a lot of swapping during the off season. Right now you're looking at a great battle between the number 31 machine, and that, of course, is Michael Christopher and Matt Hirschman. How ironic is this, Kyle? Previously, Matt Hirschman drove the 31 team and drove that car. Now, they're both in a dogfight battle for spots, and guess who's there with them? Not giving up by any of the imagination steps is car number 89, and that is Matt Swanson.
Good three-way race. Michael Christopher Jr. on the rebound here in the 31 after backsliding to the 7th spot. Goes to the inside and will take that spot away. Moving back up the 4th. Matt Hirschman settling in 5th, just in front of Matt Swanson as we are approaching the halfway mark just a couple laps from now. 72 laps in. It's John McKennedy, Stephen Kopsick, Ron Silk 3rd, Michael Christopher Jr. 4th, Matt Hirschman 5th.
In the 6th spot, it is Matt Swanson. 7th is Austin Beers. 8th position, Ronnie Williams. Chase Dowling back to 9th. And then it's Andrew Moeller, the rookie, up into the top 10. Where's Tyler Ripkema? He's in 11th. Patrick Emmerling is in 12th. And Teddy Hodgson back in 13th.
Then you get back to Craig Lutz and Justin Bonsignor to round out the top 15 as the field comes off of turn number 4, and they continue under the green flag, closing in on the Phil Kerr's halfway leader award, which will be awarded $400 to the driver that leads at the stripe. And that, of course, will be Jonathan McKennedy as he crosses the line as the race leader in car number 79. 75 down, 75 to go.
You know, right now we just witnessed Matt Swanson, who moved into the top 5, going around Matt Hirschman. Once Swanson got by, you're looking at a great shot of it. Swanson gets by and pulls away by 2 to 3, making 4 car lengths down the front straightaway. Matt Swanson has got a rocket, and I don't think that kid is done yet. Back to the front of the field, Jonathan McKennedy. He has driven a flawless race so far. That car is a powerhouse, and it's coming up on some heavy lap traffic up ahead. Looks like, yes, Joey Cipriano's number 15 car.
Tommy Catalano, Andrew Kraus, all on the same straightaway now as the race leader, and Stephen Kopsick is closing in to within a car length and a half now. Here comes Kopsick, the winner a couple of weeks ago at the Martinsville Speedway. Car 21, they both passed Cipriano to the outside, and he is all but there. First real pressure that we have seen for the race leader, Jonathan McKennedy, here this afternoon. Comes 3 laps after halfway, working lap 79, and more traffic to come for the lead duo.
There's no question about it. Kopsick's car all of a sudden has really closed up that gap. John McKennedy, just a lap or so ago, he looked like he was a man possessed out front. .169 is the battle between first and second, and I don't think Kopsick is done yet. He continues to reel in, tests the waters just a bit, down into turn number 1. No problems there so far, but it looks like Kopsick is still all over him as they head down the back straightaway.
Let's get more from the pits of both of our leaders, John McKennedy and Stephen Kopsick, to the infield with Bonta.
John McKennedy's not really said anything. He's been very silent on the radio, which sounds like he's happy with the car, even though he hasn't said anything. Stephen Kopsick, the car is really good, just a little bit tight in the center of the corner, trying to get that car pointed down, coming off. Ron Silk also very quiet. He's happy with the car so far, but has some ground to make up.
You know, we're just watching on turn number 4, Bonta, and just as you're speaking, it appears that Stephen Kopsick has moved in. The inside opens up. Kopsick takes a peek at the bottom. Meanwhile, John McKennedy shakes him off. Up ahead is one of the lapped automobiles. Will that have any effect? Will that create a lead change situation? It's Catalano's number 54 car.
Catalano about to fall off the lead lap, running in the 24th position. Andrew Krause just in front of them. Doug Kobe in the 28 car, just in front of Krause, and trying to hang on to the lead lap here. Just one caution flag in the first 84 laps of this event. We talked a bit earlier that 3 Thompson races since 2022 have run with just a single caution, and right now on pace to have a potential 4th, although still a long way to go. 85 of 150 complete, and the leaders have their handful. Here comes Kopsick.
Kopsick backed off of it just for a moment, almost like his spotter told him. There's Doug Kobe. Kobe makes way for Stephen Kopsick to move closer and back in contention here. It is John McKennedy still in command. Next car he sets his sights on appears to be the Krause number 24 car, about to go down a lap. When these lap cars affect the rhythm of the leader, John McKennedy, you can see Kopsick just getting stronger and better each and every circuit by.
Krause pulls that 24 car to the inside, will allow the leaders plenty of room to the outside lane. McKennedy is able to make the pass, and now here comes Kopsick, a couple of lengths back, having a little tougher time moving around Krause. That's going to cost him a little bit of time on the racetrack. Ron Silk still a distant third, 1.6 seconds back. Unable to close in that 16 car, but is in third and has a bit of a cushion of about a second and a half back to Michael Christopher Jr. in 4th.
He certainly does, and just into the bottom of the top 5. Matt Swanson is 5th. Matt Hirschman back up to 6th. Austin Beers in 7th. Ronnie Williams is 8th. Chase Dowling still in 9th, and Andrew Moeller, the rookie, rounds out the top 10. Doug Kobe running the bottom of the racetrack. His car has started to slow just a bit. Look down the back straightaway. What a battle going on. Swanson being pressured heavily. Michael Christopher Jr. right there with him. They continue to run side by side. Here comes Swanson. White number 88 car. Swanson picks up the spot, bumping Christopher back another position here.
That is positions 4 and 5, 3 seconds behind the race leader. Swanson will take that position away. Looked like that car just hooked up to the inside of the racetrack through turns 1 and 2 a lap ago, and has since been able to drive away from the 31 of Christopher by a couple of car lengths, just into the top 5, well behind the race leaders. In fact, both of those cars closing in on Ron Silk, who has had his struggles in lap traffic as well. Silk in 3rd, just now navigating the Krause car, the 24, who faded from the lead lap a few laps ago. But a ways back is Ron Silk from the race leaders.
You know, when we asked crew chiefs earlier today in the pit area, they said we would compare this racetrack to New Smyrna. So a lot of the setup is pretty much the same. When it came to tire management and tire setup, that's what they were basing what their stats were going to be for. So far, it's showing, and John McKennedy is the man in command. Meanwhile, you're looking at the 31 car of Michael Christopher Jr. Christopher's still holding on in the top 5. Hirschman, for the first time, he's back in the 6th position now currently. Where's the 64 car? Remember that consistent run that we were talking about? And that, of course, was Austin Beers. He's in the top 7. And Kyle, you remember those stats.
Yeah, 32 consecutive top 10 finishes for Austin Beers. Consistency will earn you championships, and earned him a title a year ago. And that streak has continued into the first 2 races of the 2026 campaign with top 10 runs at New Smyrna and Martinsville. In fact, top 5 runs, and just out of the top 5 here, running in the 7th spot for car number 64, about 4 seconds behind race leader John McKennedy as we hit lap number 95. 55 laps to go in the longest green flag run of the afternoon.
Certainly is, and you have to wonder, this youngster, Austin Beers, the youngest champion of the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, but it's more than just that. He's matured way beyond his age. He knows how to get the job done. He's very well liked, popular with his fellow competitors. Ronnie Uhouse and Sly Sabin, they've been around this sport a very long time. And this team prepares for the long run, not the short run, the long run. Right now, you're looking at the 64 car as it is moving in to challenge Matt Hirschman. That, of course, is the battle for the 6th position. You're watching car number 64, and it too is closing up that gap.
Beers led 31 laps to open the year at New Smyrna Speedway, a track, as you mentioned, similar to this. That's a half-mile high-banked oval. This is a 5/8 mile high-banked oval. Then backed it up with a 5th-place effort a couple of weeks ago at Martinsville, talking about Austin Beers, who challenging for that 2nd consecutive title, just 2 points behind Tyler Ripkema.
Matt Swanson moved into the top 3. And Swanson made his presence known, and now Swanson is coming. Among the quickest cars on the racetrack is now Matt Swanson. Believe it or not, last circuit by 19.348. John McKennedy, consistency running a little bit quicker, but he's coming. And of course, Silk was ahead of Swanson just 3 laps ago, and that all suddenly has changed.
Have to change for 3rd. Silk able to fall into line, but a couple of car lengths behind Swanson, who took that position away last time by. Swanson a 2.5 behind John McKennedy. It's still about 1.1 between McKennedy and Kopsick. No change there as Kyle Bonsignor falls off the lead lap. Car number 22. Bonsignor in the 20th position. So 19 cars remain on the lead lap. Max Zackham, the next car to fall off the lead lap if we stay under the green flag. John McKennedy hot on his hip here on the front straightaway.
You know, there's no question when you look down, Justin Bonsignor is back in the 16th position. Currently running in front of him is Patrick Emmerling in the 15th spot, and Craig Lutz is in the 17th spot. They've got a long way to go, and there is less than 50 circuits remaining. And if history holds true, the Icebreaker event has a long run without a caution late in the event. That's what we're witnessing right now. You're looking at the 21 car, Stephen Kopsick, as it is being chased down and hunted down by
Matt Swanson.
No surprise, Matt Swanson. And Matt Swanson has come a ways to get to the front of this field. He started in the 9th position, by the way, and he is continually marching to the front of the field. There he is, closed in and reeled in on Stephen Kopsick.
Was 3 seconds behind John McKennedy not that long ago. He's 1.6 back, and in this battle for 2nd with Stephen Kopsick, the winner 2 weeks ago at Martinsville, in a driver, Ben, that looked like was going to challenge for the lead. Absolutely. With McKennedy just a few laps after the restart, but that has not been the case. Kopsick has faded, and here comes Matt Swanson right on his back bumper now as they work through some more traffic off turn 4. Kyle Bonsignor to the inside, then Max Zackham in the 20 just ahead of them. Still a large gap between the battle for the runner-up position and the race leader, Jonathan McKennedy, who right now is free and clear of lap traffic.
Certainly is. Now,
caution, big hit up in turn number 4. Car tagged the outside wall at a ton. It's Ronnie Williams.
Ronnie Williams hits at a ton. You can see the front suspension and one of the wheels off the race car that is literally rolling down the front straightaway off turn number 4. Second caution of the event, lap number 107. It comes out for Ronnie Williams. Williams, of course, was running up front in the competition very early. At the time of the situation, he was at the bottom of the top 20. So Williams, Adam Scavora prepared the automobile, the Empower Financial Group sponsored car, and you can see that car, what happened, the rear wheel, the left rear tire came off the machine, and that is the results in caution number 2. Kind of a heartbreaker there for those good folks. We'll set the field for you. This is unofficial, of course. John McKennedy has led all of those circuits, and he's done it in impressive style. Stephen Kopsik is the man that sets in second. After the first caution, he was able to run with him, but then drop back to third, then move back into second. Matt Swanson has come from a starting position number 9 up to the 3rd position. Ronnie Silk with the number 16 car also started in the 7th spot. Silk is up to the 4th spot. Michael Christopher, who started in the 4th position, is now setting into the top 5. Then it's Matt Hirschman in 6th, Austin Beers in 7th. Chase Dowling has been consistent in 8th. Andrew Moeller, the leading rookie, is 9th. And Teddy Hodgson, same can be said, among the top 10 cars. Then Kyle, who's just out of the top 10.
Tyler Ripkema, the point leader coming into today in 11th, and it's Eric Goodale. David Sapienza in the 13th spot, Patrick Emmerling 14th, Justin Bonsignor 15th. They were all in jeopardy of falling off the lead lap if this race were to stay under the green flag, so this caution's going to help them out, along with Craig Lutz in 16th, Eric Burnt 17th, then Max Zackham, Kyle Bonsignor, and Andrew Kraus, the top 20. We saw Ronnie Williams climb from his car a moment ago, his first start here on the tour since the 2024 season, so he has climbed out and is okay, and pit road is open. Green light is on. We'll see if there are any takers. I anticipate there will be, as we are now into the final third of this event, and most of the leaders, in fact all the leaders, have not been on pit road as of yet.
Well, here they come. Bonza, you're going to get your exercise now, because we've got literally the gaggle of cars that has been running among the top 20 positions and then some. Down on pit road, let's go to Bonza Tufa.
Looks like rear tire changes for Ron Silk. Eric Goodale, same rear tire changing there.
They told us earlier today it was going to be a right rear tire they were most concerned about. Getting off on pit road, John McKennedy makes it back. Silk is right behind him. Chase Dowling follows them. Eric Goodale, Teddy Hodgson, and then it is Matt Swanson. Swanson, I think, lost the most. But look at Tyler Ripkema's team, Kyle. They're struggling. There's a problem there, apparently, with getting the right rear off.
Right rear issues for Tyler Ripkema, the number 3 car still on the pit lane. Getting a look at it and getting a look at everybody else filing to his right side at the pit exit.
Very, very strange
situation. And in jeopardy of losing a lap here as the field is at the start-finish line. Ripkema nearly blocked in by Kyle Bonsignor, who enters his pit stall.
But he's able to make it out in the neck of time. But it was a weird situation. Nobody was hustling. Nobody was really looking like they needed to get him back out as quickly as this. And it looks like maybe, nope, he's going to stay out. We thought he might be dipping back down to pit road. The Heggie machine down off the jack looks to be one of the final cars, and Cipriano is there. So this is going to change the complexion. We're looking at what appears to be perhaps a broken rim, because you can see the actual lugs on the hub of the left rear tire. But when we saw the tire rolling down, it appeared that it had the rim inside of it, but there you can get a good look at the damage that was done. The Less's Auto Center Group. Adam Scavora is one of the hardest working guys in the business, and The family of Ronnie Williams and the Empower Financial Group people have done just a great job for all that.
So after pit stops, there's a new leader, Steven Kopsick, at the point now within the final 40 laps here at the Icebreaker 150 at the Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park. Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park, and will receive the 1-to-go signal in what has been an action-packed race. Mid-pack at the front, that lead was taken by Steven Kopsick on the pit lane just a couple laps ago. He'll be the new leader. We'll restart in the outside of Jonathan McKennedy, as we'll have 35 laps to run when we go green in a half a lap from now.
And we've got to go and take a look at that second row. Austin Beers is up to third. Ronnie Silk is in fourth. Chase Dowlins worked his way into the top 5. Matt Hirschman is in 6th. Eric Goodale is 7th. And Teddy Hodgson is 8th. Matt Swanson is 9th. Justin Bonsignor now among the top 10 cars. Here we go. It's a sprint to the very finish in this one, as the field comes off turn number 4. Deja Vu, the outside, they say, is the preferred lane on a restart here at Thompson. Place your bets now. Here is the green, and it is Kopsick. McKennedy has a little bit of a stutter step, Kyle, and it is Steven Kopsick to the front of the class and starting to pull away.
That outside lane is where the momentum is here at Thompson, especially on starts and restarts, and Kopsick electing to start in the outside lane a lap ago. Had the top spot, but here comes McKennedy with a run to the bottom. The challenge for the race lead. He wants that top position back here off of turn number 2 with 34 laps to run. They are side by side for the top spot.
There's no question about it. Now they pull back into line. Here comes McKennedy trying to make the run for it. He can't do it. Pulls back into line. Silk is still there. Meanwhile, look a little further back. The 44 car of Dowling has been trying to get through on the inside. A lap ago, they were 3 wide. He can't complete the mission. Back up front, bid for the lead. Here they come off turn number 4. It is still Kopsick, but here comes Silk. And there, right there, still challenging in second is John McKennedy.
Ron Silk looking on in position number 3. Beers in 4th, and he's got some pressure from Hirschman in 5th. Battle for the lead up front, right to the bottom, drifts up the racetrack just a bit, does McKennedy on Kopsick, but again, that high side momentum in favor of Kopsick, who will inch him out at the line. It was tight, 34/100ths of a second, less than a half a car length. Now back to a full car length in turn 3 for Kopsick.
Meanwhile, Silk has moved in to make it a 3-car battle. 3, that just doesn't work. Make it 4, 5, and 6. They're all running nose to tail. inches apart as they rumble off that second turn down the back straightaway. This time, John McKennedy, sneak peek at the bottom. Will he try the slide? We've seen that in other divisions here. Moves to the inside, side by side, rub rail to rub rail. Kopsick still got it in turn one.
McKennedy can get up alongside at the exit of both 2 and 4, but can't inch ahead. Kopsick with the momentum hangs on to the lead. Here comes McKennedy again. This time, going to take his time, try to build some momentum to the outside of turn 3 and use it here on the front stretch, but not strong enough. Kopsick by a car length. Further back, here's Dowling to the inside in the 44 on Matt Hirschman for 5th.
That's been a battle that's been shaping up for quite some time. Meanwhile, Stephen Kopsick is still the star of the show. Crossover move. Here comes John McKennedy. Back end snaps to the right, then to the left. They head down into turn number 1. It is still Kopsick the leader. Silk applying the pressure. 3 cars at the point and starting to pull away. Austin Beers in the 4th spot. Then it is Hirschman and Chase Dowling. Top 6 cars, still a long way to go. 123 up on the board.
McKennedy doing everything he can to try to build a run, carry that speed onto the straightaway, and then make the pass upon corner entry. Not going to build a run this time off of turn number 2. Got to the back bumper of Kopsick and had to lift just a bit. Will settle in the line. Silk right there in 3rd. And top 3 have been able to break away from the 64 of Austin Beers. They're in position 4. It's a 3-horse race right now at the point, led by Stephen Kopsick.
25 circuits remaining in this event. And in case you're wondering where Tyler Ripkema is, he's already back up to the top 12. Off turn number 4, still applying the pressure. It's still Kopsick. Meanwhile, McKennedy is still testing the waters just a bit. Silk is there watching all of this. The countdown continues. Beers in a zone of his own, trying to hold off his neighbor Hirschman with Chase Dowling there, and then 2 more cars and move to
round out the top 5. Then further back, you have Dowling and Bonsignor, who's been quiet here this afternoon, but in the top 10 and being pressured by Michael Christopher Jr. for that spot as we watch the top 3 enter turn number 3. And here he comes again, Jonathan McKennedy to the inside, put the nose out to the inside of Kopsick, but couldn't make it stick. Further back, Christopher does.
Bonsignor has moved into the 7th spot. You're looking at the 51 car as it is glued and just made the move just to get around Michael Christopher. Good racing action wherever you're looking in this one among the top 10 cars. 130 laps into the record books. Stephen Kopsick looking to make it 2 in a row. It happened in the south. Will it happen in the north? For the Icebreaker off turn number 4. But here comes John McKennedy, not giving up by any stretch of the imagination here.
There are the top 3 back to the banking of turn number 1 within the final 20 laps of this Icebreaker 150 for the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. Kopsick to the point was able to get the lead on the pit lane. He was first off of pit road under the only pit stop of the afternoon and under the second yellow with 37 laps to go. He is out front now, but a lot of pressure from behind. Jonathan McKennedy in 2nd. They are both joined by Ron Silk in the 16, the driver that has won the last 2 Icebreaker events and won the last time the Tour was here at the World Series. They are in 3rd. They have been able to break away, and they want to settle this one amongst themselves.
They sure do, and they continuing. All of a sudden, that time, John McKennedy backed out of it just a bit. Silk was right there. They almost made some contact. But while that's been happening, leader of the pack, Stephen Kopsick is out in front by .193. He has been the driving force that continues to set a blistering pace off that second turn. John McKennedy will try it, but can't do it. Now, suddenly, here comes Michael Christopher Jr. Let's go back to the 4th spot. Kyle, he blisters on by Austin Beers.
Well, like he was stopped in turn number 3. Christopher had a great run going into the corner, was able to take the 4th spot away and move Austin back to position number 5. Matt Hirschman, Chase Dowling also part of that traffic. Christopher may be one of the fastest cars, if not the fastest on the racetrack right now, but unfortunately 2 full seconds behind race leader Stephen Kopsick.
Sure is, and the clock is ticking, and we are starting to work our magic down to the line. There's no question about that, as it's still a three-car battle at the front. Then there's a big gap. All of a sudden that time, it appeared that Thompson got just one lane higher. And while he was doing just that, he was, well, almost in contention to literally, now look at him. He's starting to pull away, Kyle. Steven Kopsik is like a man possessed. Here comes Ronnie Silk. Silk sees the door open. Bottom shot move off the turn. Can't do it. John McKennedy slams the door. Back to turn number 2. This is working to the advantage of Steven Kopsik. While second and third is battling, Kopsik is running away.
0.4 of a second last time between Kopsik, the race leader, McKennedy in second. Silk had a look to the inside, but was unable to make the pass, with McKennedy having that outside momentum that we often talk about here at Thompson. Silk will have to settle in the line in third, and he's beginning to run out of time if he wants to move around McKennedy for second and then potentially challenge for the lead. Coming to 11 laps to go and not a whole lot of lap traffic. Andrew Kraus just in front of the race leaders here on the front stretch, and that's it between the tail end of the field and the race leader, about a half a lap. So traffic shouldn't be a factor here over the next 10 circuits for the race leaders. It
certainly should not be, but Ronnie Silk continues to apply the pressure to that number 79 car. As continuing, John McKennedy trying to hold him off. Silk still right there as a factor, and we called it. Michael Christopher Jr. has the fastest car on the racetrack. The Elite Towing Company machine is elite and among the quickest cars now, and he is closing up that gap. The problem is you've got 9 circuits remaining in this one. Look a little further back in the field. Hirschman, along with the 64 machine of Austin Beers and Chase Dowling. That is 5th, 6th, and 7th currently as we speak.
Here's the battle for second going into turn number 1. And again, Ron Silk to the inside of McKennedy. McKennedy stronger in the outside lane, so the 79 hangs on to that spot. Neither of these two really losing ground to the race leader, Steven Kopsik. Still 4 to 5 tenths, depending on the lap. This time by as they cross the line with 7 to go.
Here
half a second.
Down to turn number 1. To the bottom, washes up on the racetrack. Silk takes second, short-lived. Here comes John McKennedy. Deep into turn number 3. McKennedy slides up just a bit. Ronnie Silk off turn number 4. Ronnie Silk has position number 2. John McKennedy back to 3.
Does John McKennedy, who falls in the line in third, have anything left in the tank? Because Mike Christopher Jr. now is closing in from fourth from way back a couple laps ago. Does Silk have anything left to close in on Steven Kopsik, who was really able to get away during that exchange for second?
Look out. Here comes Michael Christopher. What a run this youngster has had. He made a bottom shot move down underneath John McKennedy. Took over the third position. Michael Christopher is now in the third spot, and John McKennedy has dropped back to the fourth spot. Less than 4 circuits remaining. Steven Kopsik in search of back-to-back victory on the Whelen Modified Tour. Out in front and in command. Ronnie Silk continuing to apply that pressure.
6 tenths last time by. This time it's 6 tenths as they go back to turn number 1. 3 to go. Steven Kopsik leads off of turn 2 and up the back straightaway. Silk unable to close. Not a whole lot of lap traffic between them, but they may catch a car or 2 as they come to the stripe. 2 laps to go for the race leader, Steven Kopsik, looking to go back-to-back here on the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. Got his first win just 2 weeks ago at the Martinsville Speedway, and here he is at Thompson, potentially going to get another.
That is correct. It is magical. Off turn number 4, the white flag comes out. Steven Kopsik isn't about to surrender. Imagine this, 2 victories in 3 starts in 2026. Steven Kopsik takes it for the final time down at turn number 3. Kopsik comes off turn 4. The Icebreaker is into the record books, and Kopsik has broken the ice to take down 2 wins in 2026. Unofficially finishing in second, Ronnie Silk, car number 16. Michael Christopher will finish in the third spot. Then it will be Jonathan McKennedy to finish in the fourth position. Matt Hirschman rounds out the top 5. Austin Beers, well, continues that success story to finish among the top 7. Lutz will finish in the 8th spot. Chase Dowling is 9th. And Tyler Ripkema make some magic. How's that going to affect the points, Kyle?
Yeah, we'll find out when they are tallied. We'll finish in the 10th spot for Tyler Ripkema, Teddy Hodgson in 11th, Eric Goodale in 12th, Patrick Emmerling, Eric Burnt, and Matt Swanson the top 15. But for the second time in as many races, Steven Kopsick picks up the win here on the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. Win 2 in his 24th start. Was able to take the lead on the pit lane. They got that car off of pit road first. A great stop with 37 laps to go, and was never looked back and led the last 35 laps of this event for our race winner, Steven Kopsick.
You know, there's no question that throughout those 150 circuits, we saw John McKennedy jump into the early lead and pull away. Looked like a shoe-in for the victory. Then we saw Steven Kopsick strategically work some magic and close that gap lap after lap. He used pit strategy to his advantage. He picked up some spots on pit road. I think that was one of the deciding factors, Kyle.
Absolutely was. Once he got out front, he never looked back. Ron Silk will finish in the second spot. Michael Christopher Jr. was able to take third. Jonathan McKennedy fourth. Matt Hirschman, the top 5. We'll hear from our top finishers here in just a moment, along with our race winner, Steven Kopsick, for his second consecutive week, picking up the win here on the Modified Tour 2 weeks ago. Was able to pick up the big grandfather clock trophy at the Martinsville Speedway, and now picks up the Icebreaker trophy here at the Thompson Speedway.
There's a gentleman with a very big smile on his face and very deserving. Steven Kopsick is out of the automobile. Sunoco checkered flag in hand. Kopsick has done it. He will take the Whelen victory markings there. And there's the crew and everybody else involved. And that girl in the back of the lineup there is the girl that works, changes the tires, and does so much. And there's his mom and dad, Nick Kopsick, all there in the winner's circle. As there's Dad giving his son the big hug of success. Congratulations goes out to this deserving team.
Previous best finish here at Thompson, 7th in the Icebreaker a year ago, and proves that by 7 spots here today by picking up the race win. Second consecutive win on the tour. Let's go trackside and hear from Steven Kopsick.
Steven Kopsick celebrating with his team. First the grandfather clock, now the Icebreaker. This team is ecstatic, Steven. You're running top 3 for the vast majority of that race. You had that pit stop. How big was that pit stop to get up there up front and have the car you needed at the end?
That pit stop was crucial. They killed it once again coming out first. It gives you a lane choice, and it means a lot here when there's 40 to go. And, I don't know. It's unbelievable. Yesterday I was wondering if I knew how to drive this place, and never really had great luck here in a tour type mod, and to come here and win on the Whelen Modified Tour is unbelievable. Back to back, my second, winning Martinsville, winning here, and I can't believe it. I can't thank my car owner Tom Wanick enough, and all these guys here that make it happen. They worked their butts off this weekend. David Lewis, guy's the man. Just everyone that makes this happen. Newtown Pools, Karshner, Joe Kress, Harris, you pull it. It's unbelievable. Creative Racing Products, Don Barker, and all these guys behind me. I can't say it enough.
You've had quite the knack of winning these big events. What's the key when it comes to winning these prestigious races for the Modified?
I'm not sure if I know what the key is to it yet, but just keep working hard and try and show up with fast cars that we could build on and see what we can do.
Now, you look ahead. How much are you a believer in momentum?
Momentum's huge, but nothing's going to beat hard work. We got to keep working hard and keep making sure our cars are ready, prepared to the best that we can prepare them, and see what happens.
All right, we got one more thing to do. You got to draw out of the American Racer tire bucket here to see who from positions 10 through 25 will receive a free set of American Racer tires. The 22nd place finisher, Kyle Bonsignor. Kyle Bonsignor gets a free set of American Racer tires for the next event at the Oxford Plains Speedway. Stephen, congratulations on winning the 52nd Icebreaker.
Thank you.
Stephen Kopsick, back-to-back victories in the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour.
And we'll hear from the rest of our top 5 finishers here in just a moment, including Ron Silk, who came also close to picking up a 3rd consecutive Icebreaker win, but fell short here today. Bonza has to settle for 2nd.
Fighting hard against John McKennedy at the end of the race to get to 2nd spot. Ron, you ran up front all race long. What more did you need there at the end?
It's track position, man. We're like all the same speed. I think in that last run there was a part in the beginning of it where John was the best. There was a part where Steven was the best, and I thought, at one part my car drove great too. It's just very tough to pass for all the same speed, and track position is king. But it was a good racing with everybody today. Congrats again to Steven and his team, and we'll see what we can do at Oxford.
After the tough start in New Smyrna, how important is it for you guys to get going and rebounding the way you've had? I know it's not a win, but back-to-back second-place finishes in the big picture is huge.
Yeah, I guess. Second sucks.
That's Ron Silk. He's looking for victory lane, so second's not quite satisfactory for the man who's won 2 championships. Now we're going to go to a guy who had quite the charge at the end of the event. Mike Christopher Jr. finishing 3rd, bringing the 31 onto the podium. You weren't sure about the car after practice today, but a fantastic qualifying run. How about this car in the final run of today?
We were carving them up at the end. I wish the pit stop went better, but it is what it is. We'll take this and go into the next races with heads held high. So it's a little rocky start at the beginning of the season, but this is difficult stuff, tour racing. Building a team and not week in and week out, but different tracks all the time. So I'm having a blast so far. I think Alan and all the guys are too. So thank you to him, Elite Towing, Daryl Baker, all the guys, Gino, Dave, that work on this thing. All my crew from Stafford, I get them together to change tires on pit road. My dad carries, so it's a real family effort. I'm having a lot of fun doing it. So I can't wait for Oxford.
You're having fun when you're passing that many cars late in the race. A great run from Mike Christopher Jr. finishing 3rd. Now we're going to go on to our 4th place finisher, John McKennedy. We saw you running up front. You led the first half of the race, restarted 2nd, didn't get a caution again. What was what you needed from the car there in those last 50 or so laps?
Yeah, we put rear tires on, and we elected to free the car up a little bit, knowing that the rear tires would kind of lock it down. And we didn't put a right front tire on, and we reached out of there with 35 to go, and we were really good for about 8 or 10 laps, and about 15, 20 to go, it was done. I got way too loose. Maybe over adjusted a little bit with those rear tires, but again, it was kind of a gamble. We were asking the right front to go 150 laps, so we made some adjustments to free it up for that reason, and we just went too much. But overall, great weekend. Won the Monaco race yesterday. Tied for the pole today, and just a solid run. Led a bunch in 4th place.
A good bounce back for John McKennedy after not finishing at Martinsville, getting the 4th place finish. Now we'll go to our pole sitter, Matt Hirschman, who came home in 5th. Matt, you were up there. You lost the lead at the beginning. How was the car throughout the run there as you tried to hold on to the top 5?
We got too free on the first run, dropped back a little bit, but we had a solid pit stop. Actually, a good pit stop. Got a little held up coming out, so I didn't run nobody over. But overall, a big improvement from the first 2 races of the year. Those performances aren't going to cut it, but today was pretty solid. Won the pole, which is nice. But a top 5 finish here is a building block for us, and I think we just need to stay the course here for the month of May and see where we're at. Like I said, after the first 2, your finger's on the panic button when you finish 12th in 2 races where you think you should be a top 5 car. So we're in the top 5 today, solid, and we'll see where we're at. We'll give it a couple more runs for the month of May, some short tracks, coming up. I like the thought of it. We'll see how it goes. So just thank the whole team, PD Motorsports and Bar Harbor Bank and Trust, and we'll try and represent everybody well, and look forward to some short track racing coming up.
Matt Hirschman gets his first top 5 of the season and another top 5 run at the Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park as we close out a thrilling 52nd annual Icebreaker with another fantastic Modified Tour race, Kyle.
Indeed, Bonza, as Steven Kopsick celebrates down trackside, and Matt Hirschman mentioned it a moment ago, the bullring season is coming up for the NASCAR Whelen Modified
Those
Tour.
are some of the favorite stops. So check it out. On May 2nd, we'll be at the Oxford Plains Speedway. Then back to one of my favorite tracks, Seekonk Speedway, on May 16th. Riverhead Raceway, the pride of Long Island, on May 30th. Then White Mountain Motorsports Park on June 20th. Back to Seekonk on the 1st, and Claremont Motorsports Park on July 10th. Action at its best, short track style for the men of the Whelen Modified Tour.
And it all can be seen here on Flow Racing. That'll do it from the Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park. This third event of the 2026 campaign is in the books, and for a second consecutive week, it was Steven Kopsick that picked up the win off a little bobble there on the pit lane from John McKennedy. 2 weeks ago at Martinsville, win number 1, and here this afternoon at the Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park, Steven Kopsick back in victory lane. For Bonza Tufa and Ben Dodge, I'm Kyle Rickey, congratulating Steven Kopsick on his second career NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour win here this afternoon from Thompson.